All right, man. How you doing, guys? Happy Friday. Yeah, that's Friday for you. Okay, so here's the deal. Got a question. Not a lot of people are talking about much of anything anymore. Black Lives Matter is being talked about, but not in the same way. There's not the huge push, but there's a huge push for like unity. We're all in this together, and all these things, and it's kind of wild. It's scary in the sense that there's the little robots going around delivering food. You know what I'm saying? The little carts, everyone's seeing them. You got the little carts going around delivering food everywhere. And by the way, share the video, guys, if you don't mind. Share the fucking video, you know? So you got a lot of people going around. I mean, these carts going around that find their way and this and that, and they drop shit off to you. You have people being told, stay home, work at home, stay home. Don't leave. Especially in places like LA, you know, cities, Southern California, New York, Chicago, Florida, places like that, big populated cities, tight. People are being taught to stay home and accept their menial jobs. Unemployment's gone down because a lot of people are working for fucking Amazon or Target delivering shit. So the same person who was maybe a teacher, maybe a doctor, maybe a maintenance technician, they're now delivering food. Raylene, thank you for sharing the video. I appreciate everyone who shares. It's the only way I'll get out there. Facebook blocks, I'm shadow banned everywhere, and then Facebook blocks me and everything else. The simple point is, I mean, take a second to think about it, guys. Work with me for a second, okay? Follow this. We are being pushed into driving jobs, delivery jobs, packing jobs, warehouse jobs. Yeah, more people are employed right now, but the jobs they're employed at are crap. It's a joke. I mean, our quality of life is shrinking so massively. I mean, yeah, we can get everything we want delivered and dropped off. And by the way, Amazon sucks. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has had the same problem with Amazon, but their drivers drop off their boxes wherever they want. If they get stolen, well, they cover them or don't cover them. It's up to them. Maybe they won't cover it. Maybe they won't refund it. Even if the driver was supposed to get a signature and they didn't, maybe that person's not going to refund it. Maybe they will. So Jeff Bezos has billions of dollars, but some of us are getting screwed out of a couple hundred because we trusted Amazon. Amazon's a bad company. They don't back up their products. They don't back up their stuff. They do to a point. Covered under the bottom line. But if it ever goes below the bottom line, or it's over a certain, or it's in a different thing, well, then they won't do it. They just rather fight it. It's cheaper for them to fight it than to pay it. Other times it's cheaper for them to pay it. That's the problem with the world, is everything's based on numbers and set up schedules and how they look at things. And that's not the way to do it. That's not how things should be set up. By the way, thank you, Raylene. Raylene shared, and I appreciate it. Guys, if you could share the video, I appreciate that. It's the only way I'm getting out there again. Shadow banned across the board. Okay, so let me jump over to this. I want to share this with you. I made this. It's cute. Okay, it's just a little thing I believe in heavily. Ruin California, complete. Ruin the rest of the country. They're working on it. Almost there. These three people are destroying. These three people have caused so much chaos for no reason. They've all grown up rich. They're all lying scumbags. They're all dirty, dirty people. And they have caused so many problems across the board for so many different people. Again, Pelosi, who chose not to wear a mask and go to a salon, whose laws were the ones in place, accused the shop owner of tricking her. And that lady lost her place. Lost her business. Schumer is just the devil. He is such a dirty, dirty person. And then Schiff, if you don't understand that Schiff pays men, well, okay, allegedly, Schiff allegedly pays young men, 18-year-old men, 18, to bang. He pays them to come bang him, to humiliate him and stuff like that. This is what he does. Again, it's cool if you're doing all this, but you aren't acting mightier than thou or holier than thou or any of this stuff. But when you're acting better than it's like why I've always enjoyed before watching people on the right fall when they would be all religious or all this, you know, like a Graham, when you see him go down. Yeah, dude, because you're preaching to everyone and look at you. You're just like the rest of us. And it is nice seeing them fall. Yeah, because they're dirty. I don't care what someone does. I do dirty shit all the time, man. I might have 9 cocks and 4 VGs and an asshole in my face. I don't know. I'm a wild, fucking fun human being and I live my life. But I don't preach to other people how to live. I don't tell other people what their right and wrong is and how their morals should be. These people do, and their lives are horrible. Horrible. Okay, I want to get into this. Like you guys watch as I fucking
and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history.
Abraham Lincoln. He wasn't being funny. He called him the wrong name.
Racist fire. Every single one. Started off
Every
his
racist
campaign
fire.
coming down the escalator saying he's going to get rid of those Mexican rapists. He's banned
He didn't say
Muslims
that. Never
because
said
they're
that.
Muslims. He has moved around.
Never said
and
that.
made
Never banned Muslims because they were
everything
Muslim.
across the board. He says to
Actually,
the
Muslim
poor
people tend to
boys,
like Trump.
Last time we were on stage here, he said, I told him to stand down and stand ready. Come on. This guy is a dog
poor
whistle
boys.
about as big as a foghorn.
Come on. You heard that,
President
right?
Trump, I'm going to give you
The
10
poor
seconds
boys.
to respond, and then I have a follow-up.
Come on,
made
poor
a
boys.
reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in? I mean,
You said
where
you're
did that-
Abraham Lincoln.
Where did that? No. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community. I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done.
I mean,
for the
Biden
black
is insane,
community.
people.
Now,
Come on.
You have done nothing other than the crime bill, which put
Yeah.
Oh, God.
tens of thousands of black men, mostly in jail.
All right,
Yeah, it's so true.
Remember it, because if you look at what's happening with the voting right now,
Let me ask
they
Vice
remember
President
that you treated them very, very badly. Just take a look at what's happening out there.
Vice President Biden, let me give you a chance to respond. Within
Black
this
people that are voting for
context,
Biden,
crime bills that
we'll
you
see this in a
supported in the
second.
80s and
Unbelievable. If
90s
you're black and you're voting for
contributed to the
Biden,
incarceration
I
of tens of
can't
thousands
fully
of young
understand it, but
black
okay.
men who had small amounts of drugs in their possession. They are sons, they are brothers, they're fathers, they're uncles,
Yep.
whose families are still to this day, some of them suffering the consequences. So speak
They
to
are. They're
those
still in
families.
jail.
Why should they vote for you?
One of the things is that in the 80s, we passed 100%, all 100 senators voted for it, a bill on drugs and how to deal with drugs. It was a mistake. I've been trying to change it since then, particularly the portion on cocaine. That's
He
why
hasn't
I've
been trying to change it.
arguing that, in fact, we should
Why
not
cocaine?
send
What is he
anyone
saying, only black
to
people do
jail
cocaine?
for a pure drug offense. They should be going into treatment across the board.
That's not true. That's not what they
we should
offered,
be
though.
spending
Their
money.
whole
That's why I
presidency,
set up
they could
drug
have
courts,
offered
which were never
treatment.
funded by our Republican friends. They should
Doesn't
not
matter.
be going to jail for a drug or an
This is
alcohol
insane.
problem. They should be going into treatment. That's what we've been trying to do. That's what I'm going to get done. Because
But his son gets to do drugs and get away with it.
Now seen that in fact it was a mistake to pass those laws relating to drugs, but they were not.
Of course it was a mistake. It was
Why
horrible.
didn't he get it done? See, it's all talk, no action with these politicians. Why didn't he get it done? That's what I'm
Oh,
going
is
to do
there?
when I
Okay.
become president. You were vice president along with Obama as your president, your leader, for 8 years. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years to get it done. Now you're saying you're going to get it done because you're all talk and no action, Jim.
We got a lot of it done. We released 38,000. We got 38,000 prisoners left from the.
You got nothing done.
38,000 prisoners were released from federal prison. There were over 1,000 people who were given clemency. In fact, we're the ones that put in the legislation saying we could look at pattern and practice of police departments and what they were doing, how they were conducting themselves. I could go on, but we began the process. We lost an election. That's why I'm running to win back that election and change his terrible policy.
I just asked one question.
Change.
Why didn't you do it in the 8 years, a short time ago? Why didn't you do it? You just said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. You put tens of thousands of mostly black young men in prison. Now you're saying you're going to undo that. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years with Obama. You know why, Joe? Because you're all talk and no action.
All right, Vice President Biden, and then we're going to move on to the next section.
We had a Republican Congress. That's the answer.
Well,
Okay.
you got to talk them into it, Joe. Sometimes
right.
you got to talk them into it.
We're going to move on to our next section.
Like I
which
did
is
with criminal
climate
justice
change.
reform. I had
Okay.
to talk Democrats into it.
Gentlemen,
You did what we
we're running out of
already done.
time, so we got to get on to
Okay.
climate change, please. You
Absolutely. Look at that. I mean, follow that shit. Come on. Follow that shit. This is my problem. The Democrats, I would have voted Democrat normally. The Democrats, you had all this time to come up with anyone decent to run for president. Anyone. And you ended up with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Out of all the options you had, that's who ends up going forward? Come on. And you have a candidate, Joe Biden, whose running mate, Kamala Harris, as vice president, called him, said that she thought he fucking harassed women. Said, I believe the women. Said that. So does she no longer believe the women? This is the insanity behind it. Again, please understand something. Okay. I say we're Trump publicans. We're Trump publicans. We're Trump publicans because we support what Trump is doing in the White House. It's not so much that we're Republicans or conservatives by any means. I'm far from a conservative. The most conservative thing about me is I have really dirty sex. That's the most conservative thing about me, is because so do most conservatives. Do you see what I'm saying? The most conservative thing about me is that I do dirty sex, you see, and so do a lot of conservatives. Other than that, there's nothing conservative about me. I'm not uber religious by any means. I'm pro-choice. I'm open borders, but I'm a Trumpublican because I'm voting Trump because Biden is a racist. Not the kind of racist that people call Trump, where they go, oh, he's a racist, even though, again, prior to him running for presidency, he got awards from Black organizations all the time for contributing and things like that. This is a fact. Prior to his presidency, he was getting awards prior to becoming a Republican. He got plenty of awards. Biden did not. Trump has done things for the Black community. Biden has not. Biden out of his own mouth. You know what? Biden out of his own mouth. Let's hear it.
Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community. You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
My Democratic colleagues don't like me saying this. I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black. And other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind a little bit.
They're gonna put you all back in chains.
The first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputation of two United States senators who built their reputation and career on the segregation of race in this country.
Are you going to apologize like Cory Booker has
Apologize for what? For what?
I mean, that's only some of the things. And yeah, his son, those are pictures of his son smoking crack. The son, he said, didn't do weird shit in Ukraine. So he's a total crackhead. Okay, so we're supposed to believe that Rick James got super freaky with women because he was all cracked out. But Joe Biden's son did legitimate, honest business with Ukraine and everything else. Well, smoking mad crack. Not a lot of that makes sense, if you ask me. So his son's smoking crack on our money. We're buying Joe Biden's kid crack. Because remember, he's making money off of his dad's connections in the government. So we're basically packing the crack pipe for Biden's kid. Now, it does matter that his kid's a crackhead at this age. As a grown man, that his kid is still smoking crack and banging hookers, it does matter. The fact that he's smoking crack in hotels and letting himself get videoed and pictured and everything else shows where his mind is at and everything else. Why would you want that particular person having any connection to the presidency whatsoever? So if you elect Biden, then his son is the first son. And keep in mind, someone made a good point. The lady was saying that she didn't like people attacking her son. It's not your son. His mom died. And that's sad. But that lady, and that's why I say, it's like Kamala Harris. You're a maid raising 2 white kids with the guy, and you hate white people. That's insanity. You have to wake up to what's going on in the world. If you can't wake up to the reality behind it, if you can't wake up to the fact that Obama doesn't want to be there, but he's doing and saying whatever the fuck he's got to do and say, because obviously he doesn't want his shit coming out. He doesn't want everything destroyed and everything else. He's got his job to do and he's got his obligations and he's going to do them. But I don't think Obama's a bad guy. I honestly don't believe Obama's a bad guy. I think Obama is the equivalent to George Bush Jr. I know he's not Jr., but I call him Jr. George Bush Jr. I think him and Obama are the same thing in the sense that they were forced to do it. They really didn't want to. They were charismatic. They were likable people. Didn't do a good job. Didn't do a horrible job. They didn't really want to be politicians. They liked hanging out and kicking back. And the reality is they didn't want to be president. Donald Trump wanted to be president. Bill Clinton wanted to be president. Hillary Clinton wants to be president. These people want to be president, but Bush and Obama didn't want to. They were forced to. The fact is, so Obama's doing what he has to do, but he hates Biden. We all know he hates Biden. So that's the simple fact. If you can't look at Obama's face, if you're a black person that literally isn't able to read Obama's face when he's around Joe Biden, if you're a black person who really doesn't recognize that ever so familiar look of somebody just going, oh, God, this idiot's going to drone on and pretend he's not racist. Well, he says the most racist shit. That's Biden. That's what he does. That's the reality behind it. See, that's what we're not clued into. Obama hated him. The fact that Obama hated him. I didn't hate Obama. I don't know that Obama did anything good. I don't think he brought any hope, but I don't think he was a bad dude. I don't think he was out to get anyone. I don't think he did anything intentionally mean. I don't think he's intentionally horrible. I think Biden is intentionally horrible. I think Biden's a bad guy. I think Biden and Kamala Harris are bad people. I think Trump's a bloated, egotistical bastard who cracks me up and does hysterical shit and really did lift the economy. See, here's the ignorance. If you put any of this pandemic shit on Trump and base the economy on where the jobs are right now, the Democrats keep bringing up, well, look at the job market right now, because you caused a pandemic. Trump already proved in his possibly fake coronavirus thing that it ain't shit, that it's the flu. So we're shut down for nothing. Again, the cases are way up, but the deaths aren't up. And we know they're telling us about hospitals again, but nobody's seeing these hospitals full. I was just at a hospital. Nobody was there. It's not true. This is the problem. This is what's so scary. The stuff they're saying just isn't true. That's what I'm saying. It's like if they were saying stuff that was true, then yeah, I would listen. You're saying stuff that just is not logically true. It's not logically possible, but it also isn't true. So you're just a liar, and the Democratic Party has been caught lying so many times. It's no longer okay. See, I'm going to tell you this. Those letters that came out from the Proud Boys, because, see, the Proud Boys aren't a white supremacist group. You're ignorant if you think they are. Their fucking leader isn't white. It's so stupid that people are continuing that anyway. The leader isn't white, you morons. They're not a white supremacist group, jackasses. So it's like that commercial that shows a proposition, whatever, for affirmative action. And then they show all the white guys walking with tiki torches. First of all, what kind of fucking homos got tiki torches? Who are these guys with their fucking penny loafers and tiki torches? What are they, the socias from the Outsiders? Did they literally go find the socias from the Outsiders and have them march in the fucking anti-affirmative action or the pro for affirmative action proposition? Because they paid all these white people to go march, like to act like they were white supremacists. They paid them, though. They were paid. They're not real white supremacists. It wasn't real video. It wasn't real footage. It's insanity, the lies on all sides. But the one person really not lying more than we expect, meaning you go to buy a car. I got a friend, Joey Valenzuela, by the way, if you need to get a car, go up to Bakersfield Toyota, I believe it is, Joey Valenzuela, hit him up. Insane deals he'll make. And if you mention my name, if you mention Hamburger Podcast, Joey Valenzuela will kick you such a mad-ass deal. And during the test drive, he'll throw you a handy. That's right. You go up to Bakersfield Toyota and you visit Joey Valenzuela and you take a test drive. Every test drive comes with a sweet, sweet, soft-handed handy to completion. Women, it comes with the rabbit fingers. Just saying. So the point is, Joey's a car salesman, though. I love him. But he's a car salesman, and he's going to be a car salesman. Trump's a car salesman running the country. He's going to be a car salesman, but he's the car salesman that I trust more than the other car salesmen, and I know he's going to get me I'm going to end up with a decent deal, and he's going to make some money. That's going to happen. What I'm saying is that's what Trump is. The rest of these people are absolute scum. They're thieves. They're liars. Like, I don't like Mitch McConnell. I don't like none of these people. I like Trump. And again, I don't think Trump's sent to me by God. I don't think Trump's ordained. I don't think he's a saint. I just think Trump's a good politician. Why don't you take 1 second and ask yourself, with everything Trump is, isn't he also a good politician? He is America first. I mean, you have to give him that. He might not be me and you first, but he is America as a whole first. Joe Biden isn't. Kamala Harris isn't. And neither of them are us either. They don't care about us, and they don't care about America. I'm not a person who's really bought into America per se. I think it's a fad. I'm not a person who's really bought into America like, oh, I'm pro-America, America. No. It's just a piece of land and this and that. It's where I was born, whatever. The fact is, though, I do want a president who's bought into that. I want a president who's pro-America. I want a president who wants America to win. That's what I want my president to be. I want to love the world. I want everyone to win. I want the world to be better, and I want to go like this. God, we need to help everyone. And I want the president to go, okay, well, let me see what I can do. And he or she will go ahead and do that. Again, ask yourself this question. Trump, is he the politician you want running your country? The politician. That means the salesperson, the shyster, the negotiator, the trickster, the everything else that's going to get us the best deals and best everything and into everything and winning. Is that who you want? Or do you want Biden, who's out of his own mouth a racist, whose son's smoking crack? Again, yeah, Trump's kid's a dick for fucking hunting big game. But I will take an asshole big game hunter to be the child of my president over a crackhead. And again, I've smoked my share of crack. You see that purple part of my lips right here? That's a crack pipe that busted in my lips in the late 80s. Cut my whole lip open. I smoked out the other side. I get addiction. I'm not shitting on him for being addicted. I'm shitting on him for getting privilege, for his addiction being paid for by my taxes, my money. All Biden's money has come from being in public service. So the money his kid blew on crack and shit all these years, that's been our fucking money. We've paid for his crack. That's got to bother you. I didn't fucking pay for Trump's kid to go big game hunt. I'd like to pay someone to kick him in the nuts for big game hunting. But I didn't pay for him to go big game hunt. I did pay for fucking Biden's kid to smoke crack. That's not okay. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. You want Biden's kids as the backing of this country? Or you want Trump's kids, a couple of fucking hardcore, independent, strong-ass, intelligent women that are winning, and an asshole, possibly little dick, uses extends, probably uses Viagra. I don't know. Maybe I'm just mad because he's good looking and rich. Anyway, I'm saying like Trump's kid, Eric, not Barron, of course. Barron I love. And see, that's the other thing. Okay, so Biden has no diversity whatsoever in his family. Trump has nothing but diversity in his family. Please pay attention to this for a second, because this bothers me so much that people aren't aware of this. Trump's kid has autism. Not Asperger's, he has autism. Asperger's has been proven to be bullshit. He has autism. Trump has never used him. Trump's not posing with him right before the election or anything else. He's not using his kid. Please notice this. Biden has constantly tried to work off of his dead son. Trump has not once used his son Barron, who he takes amazing care of, who his wife takes amazing care of. He hasn't tried to use him once to go, look at me. Look. He wouldn't use his son, who's handicapped, I guess. I don't like to use the word handicap, but he's handicapped in the sense that he has learning disabilities or learning different abilities, whatever you want to call it. The fact is, the Trump family is taking care of him greatly, and he's doing phenomenal. And they don't use him to get ahead. Please stop and realize that. If you can realize what it takes. See, my dad was a hustler, and my dad was a salesman, and he was a con man, and he was involved in mob shit and everything else. And he was far from perfect. But my dad would never use a handicapped kid, would never use anything. It's Viking law, African law type of thing, right? Well, you don't do uncool shit, man. You don't use your family to get ahead. You don't use the death of a family. You don't use the handicapping of a family or any of that to get ahead. And Trump has not used his son Barron in any way whatsoever to get ahead. But nobody's looking at that. Nobody's noticing that. No one notices that his son-in-law is 100% hardcore Jewish, hardcore Israeli Jew, which makes him an African Jew. But he's an Israeli Jew. And he was welcomed into the Trump family, where other Jews have been, to marry his daughter, though. His kids are going to be at least half Jewish. I say more so because I think Trump is Jewish, but at least half Jewish. But you don't notice that. So Kamala's fucking family, which is white as the driven snow, her stepkids and her rich-ass white husband, who's a lawyer for fucking Big Pharma. White as the driven snow. Trump's family, mixed. You got handicapped, you got Jews, you got immigrants from Eastern Europe. Mixed. Trump's dated multiple races of women. Biden has not. Biden has only been with white women. Again, look, Biden has only been with white women. Biden's kids have only been with white women, except for the hookers that Biden's son bangs. They vary. But the women he's willing to date are only white. Please look at that. Please wake up. If the only people who even wake up to this are black people, then good. Because if you're black and you're voting for Biden because you think it's better for you as a black person, you're maybe misled. Maybe I'm misled. I'm going to fart good. Hold on. Oh, that was a good one. Maybe I'm misled. Either one of us could be misled again. Crazy never knows it's crazy. Wrong barely knows it's wrong. So misled almost never knows it's being misled. So any of us could be that person. It could be me. Biden could be the greatest thing that's ever happened to black people. I feel like his whole family is white as the driven snow. None of them have varied outside of their race or journeyed outside of their race in any way. Trump's family has consistently journeyed wherever and done whatever. They're multiracial, they're multi-ethnic, and there's handicapped people in his family that are well taken care of. I think people need to recognize this. Just stop it. Yeah, we need a used car salesman. We're fucking America. We're America. We need a used car salesman or the guy who's in the WWF Hall of Fame. We need that guy from The Apprentice. We need all of them to run this country because that's the country we live in, and that is true. What we don't need is we don't need Biden or Kamala Harris, who are still stuck in their supremacist, nasty-ass ways of haves and have-nots and everything else. We don't need them. We don't need their socialist views when they make so much money. We don't need their socialist views when their spouses also make so much money off of capitalism. Let's just wake up a little bit, America, please. It's really, again.
And then I have a follow-up question for you.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history.
There's no way he could have thought that was going to be funny. Abraham Lincoln here. He didn't say he was Abraham Lincoln. He didn't say, I'm just like Abraham Lincoln. He just said, nobody since possibly Abraham Lincoln has done more for black people than Trump. That is true as president. The only thing Bill Clinton did was play the saxophone and win you over. He didn't do anything for you. He dressed up in blackface. He was an asshole. Okay? Trump's the only one who's messed around with multiple races of women. And I know you're like, oh, what does that matter? It matters. Because obviously a real racist doesn't go outside their race. Like Biden. Biden's never gone outside of his race. Biden has never had sex with a woman outside his race. Neither of his kids. Check it out. Wake up to it, America. You're being fooled. The saddest thing is black people are being fucked over so bad right now by a farce that anyone cares for them. And you got people like LeBron James and Kevin, the little guy, Kevin Hart, backing it. You got Sean P. Diddy backing it. You got Conway going, fuck this. It's crazy. Kanye West came out going, fuck all this. Sean P. Diddy grew up upper middle class. Just saying, guys, maybe wake up to this shit. I guarantee you Jay-Z don't like none of these motherfuckers. Anybody who's ever worked for this shit, anyone who hasn't had it all handed to him or this and that. I just saw a guy on American Ninja, and he had a great story about when he was growing up and how white kids were beating him up and calling him all kinds of racial things, and none of it matched. And I checked out his story. It was a complete lie. We got to stop it. We just got to stop it. And these politicians got to stop using black people. It's not right. Let's just make this a free, legal, equal for everyone country. Anyway, guys, I'm Burger. Have a great Friday. And you know what? Just wake up. Just look. Just look. Again, I would never vote Republican or conservative, I thought. If you would have ever told me that I was going to vote for a Republican, I'd have laughed in your face. The Democrats have gone back to being the Klan Nazis that they were back when they were the Klan and Nazis. Just saying. I mean, you know, we got to wake up to this shit, people.